Hey y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we get to know our friends through their favorite R&B song. I am naturally Elise, and that is my brother,
JR.
and we are the R&B representatives. And today we are welcoming a new face to the show, and that is Van Everett.
Hey,
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You gave me the air horn. I started to try to lick a couple of shots there for a second. Take it back to the dance hall days of the early 90s.
Right.
So, Mr. Van, how about you tell our viewers a little bit or a lot about yourself?
I am the host of the Scenario. It is a show that covers a little bit of everything. The basic premise of our show is real talk with a playlist. We talk about everything. We center Black people in whatever our conversations are. And along with every episode, there's a playlist that goes along with it. Uh, the big idea for me with creating the show and having the playlist and all of that corresponding was that I used to be a musician and traveling a lot of times with musicians from all over the country. There was always conversation about everything, and there was always music. Somehow music gets interjected in everything. And what I realized was that if you ask people about their favorite song or ask them about a song, then you get to hear a part of their life story. It's a way for people to have these exchanges with you. So that's the heart of what the show is. As you guys know, because you've been on the show before. We had you
Yes.
guys on our countdown. We had on the
Yes.
countdown before. Yeah.
That they asked us a hard question too. Me and Elise was sitting here for like, how long was this? We were sitting there for a minute with them 2000 joints. Like, what? Huh. But it was good though, y'all. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, we had a good time. We had a good time.
Yes.
Yes. So, how about you tell folks what song you decided to talk about today? And do you remember hearing it for the first time?
Okay, I decided to go with what I guess on its face doesn't sound like the most conventionally R&B song, but I mean it has all the right components to at least give you a feel of R&B. Yeah, and it's a black man that made it, and it's very black. So yeah, I decided to go with "Always in My Hair," the remake by D'Angelo from the Scream 2 soundtrack. Yeah, and the first time I heard the song, I was actually was at the one of my homeboys' crib, and he just happened to put it in because he's a huge Prince fan. So anything that's a remake of anything that Prince does, he wants to hear it and see what it's about. And he saw that it was on the CD. He had the CD, so he went directly to that song. And as soon as it kicks in, and those drums, those Questlove drums come in, they've got that real head nod factor going. It was like, oh, I'm all in. This works for me, right off the top. My homeboy, he thought it was okay, but he, again, he's a Prince homer, so he's gonna be like, hey, it's Prince or nothing. If it ain't Prince, it's second to Prince. But yeah, I loved it from the jump because I was already a huge D'Angelo fan anyway, and this was a little bit of a departure from what we had gotten from him so far because preceding this it was Brown Sugar, and you may have had, I think he may have been on a soundtrack or two at the time, but this was a departure from what we had been getting so far, and I was all in for it. Yeah.
So me, I heard it. R.I.P. to Hal Jackson. He's a New York DJ that was on WBLS, and it was like one Sunday he was actually doing a Prince tribute. You know what I mean? And this is 97, 98. I'm not sure when the song came out, but I just remember him saying, "Yo, D'Angelo just did a cover of She's Always in My Hair." And mind you, right now, I'm still on Brown Sugar, right? And then Erica and him just
Mhm.
did the Your Precious Love cover. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I'm like, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. But so D'Angelo, his covers to me, I've been cool with. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, what are
Uh-huh.
we gonna get with this? And when he did it, you know what I'm saying? I love She's Always in My Head by Prince, which is a dope B-side, y'all. Like,
Yeah.
I love it. But what I loved about Angelo's version is he made it so current, but he still made it familiar. Like you still got the elements of what Prince did on his, but he still made it really, really like current, and it had like a knock to it, like you said with the drums, with Questlove on
Yeah.
the drums. And then I'm Raphael Sadiq, so I'm like, who is playing that bass? It sound like Raphael, and it was. You know what I mean? So I was just like,
Yeah. Yeah.
now thinking about it, it was just like this was definitely the feeling of what they were just jamming before we got Voodoo, because it
Yeah.
just felt so thick. And then, you know, like Elise said in that episode of Voodoo, it's like you can cut it with a knife, and it's like it's hard to get through it. And this joint is so thick, and I think that's D'Angelo's sound. So for me, I was just like, yo, this joint is so dope. And then to have Raphael on it, and then everybody know that Prince is a big influence for D'Angelo for sure. So for me, I loved it. I was just like, dang, he done did Cruising, which I don't think about the original version at all. And then he did Your Precious Love, which I still think about the original, Elise. Yes, don't do that. And then he was great with this. So I was like, he was good with me. So I love it. I love it. I just love. And then he added the harmonies to it, added a little bit more to it, a little bit more texture, just made it a little bit more thick. So that's what I really, really loved about the record for real.
Okay.
Elise, before you say anything, I have
Oh,
to ask a
okay.
question. Is
Yeah.
there an issue? Is there a discrepancy with the D'Angelo Erica Badu
Oh
duet
yes.
that I'm not
Oh
familiar
yes.
with here?
She has issues.
I, they did. I don't know who was in charge of that session.
Kedar.
Huh?
Kedar.
Kedar?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kedar wanted them to be one thing instead of letting them be the artist, because neither of them sound like what either Erica or D'Angelo does on that song.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay.
everything else that I've heard either of them cover is in their style.
You know what? You're absolutely right. I can
Yes.
agree with that.
I
I
don't
can
knock
agree
her
with
at
that.
all when she says that.
It was
Yeah.
forced. It felt forced. And
I actually like the song,
vocals
but
were
I'm
not,
with you.
the vocals just were not good.
Yeah.
No matter whose style they were singing in. Like, I just think it's a bad take. It felt rushed.
I think it also, and
It didn't
it
even
probably
feel mastered right. Like, it's just all.
it probably was also to get Erica out there too, because you know the next year she came out with hers, so that Kedar was like, oh, let's throw Erica on a joint with him and get her more exposure and all this kind of stuff. Because like you said, Elise, when you hear Baduism and you hear that, you be like, wait a minute. This ain't the same. Like this is not, but I like it. But Elise, you're right.
Yeah.
Because I think of Erica cover, like I think of her covering Four Leaf Clover, but it's in her way. You hear her cover, even when she did the Stay Live, the Shaka, it's still in Erica's way.
Right. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I feel you.
I'm sorry, but go ahead. Go about your time.
Oh, so this song, now I do like remake, but I just like, and I'm not even one of them Prince nuts, but I like the Prince better. Everything that y'all love about the D'Angelo is what I like, the more breeziness and kind of airy quality of the original, and not the hardness.
Okay.
That's interesting. Yeah, which I obviously like the original as well. But just like JR was saying, that thickness of it is that the texture is really. I guess one of the things that really attracted me to it was that oftentimes you hear people who attempt to fuse the qualities of hip hop and the qualities of rock together, and it's always terrible. And the reason it is because they seem to have this idea that if they just have those sonic elements of big drums and crunchy guitars, then that automatically makes it work. And it's like, no, it never captures the spirit of what makes either of those genres come together. And so the same way that Prince always had a very delicate balance between rock and R&B and, you know, traditional soul and things that he was doing, that song does that with hip hop and rock, you know. And it's like, it's just the everything about the guitars that make good rock work is there. Everything that makes hip hop good, drum wise, the rhythm, and at that time that's when you could tell they started, as JR mentioned, started working out some of the rhythmic variations that they were doing in voodoo, with that slightly staggered type beat and everything. You're hearing all of that kind of come forth, and it's perfect. It all ties together perfectly, and it's just something that is very rare. Even unto this day, you still hear people when they attempt to fuse those types of elements together, they seem to miss the point every time, and they seem to really have gotten the point. Yeah. And the synth, and even the synth, like the pads that they have with the chords, they kept those chords the same, the ones that Prince had on the original version, to just kind of just hold. It doesn't do a lot; it just holds, and it just so it really captures the essence of what Prince was at the same time.
Right. Right. And to me, I think this might have been one of just the first jam sessions they were having. You know what I mean? With all of them with Voodoo, because obviously we know with Brown Sugar, it was really him and his brother and Angie. Angie don't get her credit either. So, you know what I mean? Like it was them. So now he said, when he was in the beginning of Voodoo, he said they would just listen to Prince, they would listen to Sly and the Family Stone, and they were listening to Jimi Hendrix. So, and I know that is Raphael's bag too. So all of them with that, I think for me, I think this was probably the beginning where they just like, yo, let's just go in the studio and just jam. And I think they probably was listening to She's Always in My Hair, and they probably was listening to that like, yo, let's do that, because we all know Raphael was on tour with Prince, you know what I'm saying, back in '88. So there's that connection. Prince loved D'Angelo, and D'Angelo knew it. So it was just like, I think they just all went into the studio and just jammed. So I think that's why I said in the beginning, I think this is just kind of the beginning of everything and how they got the ball rolling to what we got with Voodoo. So this to me just seems very raw. And that's why I really like the rawness of it, because it feels that way.
Question, JR. When did they start working on Voodoo? I'm trying to match something up.
Well, according to him, what I was researching online, it was the fact they started since like '96.
Okay, that's all I need to know. So remember his other soundtrack offering from '96 from Space Jam? I Found My Smile Again.
Yes.
And see, that feel of that song is what I Found My Smile Again is what more of the feel, like emotionally intense, like it's the feel of Prince's original She's Always in My Hair to me. Like it's just a breeziness. It's not so hard. And I like Child. I don't think it's except for that other song that I won't name again. I don't think there's a D'Angelo song that I do not like. And that's hyperbole. Right. So and that one song off Voodoo I don't like. That's it.
Which I need to know.
Oh, that left right thing, whatever.
I love that.
Oh yeah. At least don't like that. Yeah.
I don't have any use for Redman and Method Man on it, but I love the song.
I agree. That's where I'm at. They weren't needed, because according
what took away
to them,
and they said
they said Q-Tip actually had a rhyme for it, but nobody liked it. I'm like, he might have been better for it then. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might have been better for it, because I don't think Redman and Method Man, they
didn't add anything to it. Yeah.
Right. They didn't add anything to it. So I'm like, you could have maybe kept Q-Tip, but
but I do love it, but I like the feel of the Prince better.
Yeah. I feel where you're coming from. I feel where you're coming. But that everything about that song, because it's something that has never gotten old for me. That song never gets old for me. And like, I love the harmonies. I the way that he works with his harmonies. He obviously as somebody who used to do some production and recording, he's somebody you can tell who what they do is he'll sing his lead, and he'll just kind of lay it out simply, and then he'll maybe have another vocal to do a couple of different ad libs, and whatever ad lib sounds interesting, then he'll just harmonize to it and continue to harmonize to it until there's no sunshine to shine between any of the vocals. It's just all, they're tight, it's just
very Marvin Gaye-ish.
Very
Marvin Gaye-ish.
Yes. Oh, very much so.
And that's where you knew, like, he was that very much inspired by that, because Marvin just It was about 39 tracks. You know what I'm saying? So you could never fit anything else in. And D'Angelo with this, and that's what I really like about this is the harmonies for me. And it's like, because in Prince's version, he didn't do all that to me. Prince was just more musical, and you kept it there, and that's just what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's always interesting though when you listen to Prince and you hear those times where you can tell he's channeling some quartet gospel on the harmonies and the backgrounds. I love that because obviously D'Angelo is definitely channeling quartet gospel. Voodoo is like a quartet gospel album, as far as backgrounds are concerned, to a certain degree. So it's always interesting that they always have that overlap. Like I always wondered what Prince's background was as far as listening to that type of stuff. He's obviously somebody who listened to a little bit of everything, but I never really heard him speak much about that influence, but it's there when you hear certain songs, definitely.
Yeah. And then with D'Angelo, with him, he just adds his sound to it. That's what I love about D'Angelo. In any cover that he does, he adds him to it. You know what I mean? And that's what because Prince don't like nobody doing nothing of his. You know what I'm saying? Like nothing at all. And I know D'Angelo and Quest, they did this. I forgot. Was it with Torre? I forgot who it was. And I think D'Angelo said in it that like Prince and him talked, and Prince was like, they really didn't talk. They just jammed. And Prince gave him his guitar, and D'Angelo was like, oh shit. And if I'm not mistaken, he might have used it for voodoo, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, please. But I think he used that for voodoo. So it's just like for me, it's just they so connected, and you could tell. And with this, I think this was just him giving him his like, yo, I'm such a fan. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna add me to it. And I think him adding those harmonies, like those church background harmonies, is what is D'Angelo. You know what I mean? And then with Raphael coming in with the background, because Raphael's doing background on it too. And then he's playing that bass. It's the thickness. And that's what I just love talking about with D'Angelo, because it's the thickness of this whole thing. So it's giving you Curtis Mayfield, it's giving you Al Green, it's giving you all of that, just heavy. And I think that's what he did. And for him to kind of miss the rock, and like I'm glad you said it, then that he added that hip hop thing to it. He added a little bit of that to it, so it kind of gave you that little bounce. Because I could see somebody spitting on it. To be honest with you, a nice little 16 would have been dope. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? But you ain't here for it. But I'm just, I just like maybe somebody could have, because of the hip hop flair that he added to it. So I could see like the hip hop dudes like, oh, okay, because they already connected to D'Angelo anyway. You know what I mean? So it was just like for him doing that. So I like it. But you're not here for it. But okay. All right.
So at least
I did not say I do not like D'Angelo's version. I didn't say that even a little bit.
She likes Prince's better, definitely.
I just said I like it better, and I'm just comparing and contrasting. I'm
right.
So do you think that the song would be more appealing to you had it not been that song and just the exact same elements, but just something entirely different? Song. Yeah.
Because even like, I don't know if this is the right word, like the way they singing it, like D'Angelo's singing it kind of more punchy, and Prince is more of a wave.
So, it is.
And that's just kind of what I just for that song, it just works for me. But no, I fuck the D'Angelo. It's in playlists. Like I fucks with it. But and I ain't no weird purple purist to where nope, Prince did it, because it's some song where I think people got him. But no, I love this jam. But for the elements that y'all love about it,
those are the things they diminish what it originally was. I get you.
But that's the jam.
One of the more interesting things that I didn't realize until I heard an episode of Questlove Supreme when Lenny Kravitz was, they had Lenny Kravitz as a guest, was that originally they were trying to get Lenny Kravitz to play guitar on it. They sent it to him through some of his people. Lenny Kravitz heard it and then sent a message back and said, there seems to be a discrepancy with the drums, because this was at a point where people were not accustomed to that style of drum playing over a song. So he wasn't quite up on what was happening there. And so that slight lag that's playing behind the bass, that's happening with Questlove, that Dilla style of drums did not appeal to Lenny. He just assumed that maybe they had tracked it wrong, something was going on, but they never got back in touch with him. So they were like, well, apparently this isn't going to happen.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah.
Wow, to
Yeah.
have
But
Lenny on it, that'd have been nuts.
yeah. And he even said, Lenny Kravitz even said, he said, I just didn't get it at the time. He said, now in retrospect, I get it. I've heard enough of it to get it. But at the time, it was just
Right.
completely new to me and mind blowing. I was like, I don't know about that. Maybe it's a technical issue. So yeah.
Wow.
Very nice.
Right, right, right. He probably like, the fuck is this? Nah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Like,
That's it.
yeah, like he's probably like, look at this. I'm like, nah, y'all get this. Something ain't right on y'all end, and they probably was like, man, all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. He gave him the benefit of the doubt by saying there was obviously something technically wrong here, instead of just saying, I don't know what the hell you guys think you're doing.
Right, right. Like, being hella nice, like,
Yep.
oh God. Oh, but there's no regrets. But I know he like, damn, I could have been on this joint for real. But it really wasn't on no album for real, because this is, like you said, it was on Scream 2. Because they opened the film with it.
Mm-hmm.
They opened up the film with it. So yeah, with that. So it wasn't on no albums. I mean, and then when you said it, because when you picked it, I was like, oh my God, I remember the first time I heard it. I was in my mom's car and I was just like, damn, D'Angelo has done it again. You know what I mean? That's what I felt. I was like, don't. And then I'm like, who the hell is on these drums? And because by then he wasn't working with Questlove then. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I didn't know that. The only thing I knew about this is I know that's Raphael Sadiq on bass, because I know how he plays the bass. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
when I got home, I was just like, okay, I gotta find it, and it took me years to find it. Like, who with the liner notes and shit. So I was like, oh my God. So it took me back to, just driving in my mom's car and me playing that. I was like, oh God, man, took me back, y'all. Like, took me back to that day. And how Jackson is such an idol of mine when it comes to radio and all that. So it definitely took me back there. But oh, this song is great. I can't wait to tell my mom about it. I'm sorry. Not. She gonna be like, okay, no more. I'll watch the show. Like, don't tell me no more. Oh man, great song. Just
Yeah,
man.
it has always inspired me to want to hear more of a fusion, a rock infused R&B that I think is, like, again, obviously can be done, but for some reason just very few people seem to. And I think a lot of it is that I think the people who usually attempt it, you can tell they really haven't listened to any rock music. They have a couple of songs
Yes.
that they like, but for whatever reason, they just heard "Smells Like Teen Spirit" and maybe like the melody, and never really grasped any of the other components of it. So, and obviously the same thing when it's a rock artist, you get Limp Bizkit. So it's like, no, we certainly don't need more of that.
Okay.
They definitely don't understand
At all.
Yeah, it's like, well, my hat's on backwards. What more do you want? Isn't it black enough for you? Wow, man. Wow
Love
stuff.
it.
Bless their hearts.
Right. That part. That part. Oh man.
Yeah. I think I prefer rap, like rap artists that has something infused with rock, but I don't like it the other way around. Or
Yep.
I like an well, with R&B it can kind of go either way, but with rock, like, it has to start at rap and then it can't start at the rock, because then it's like
Yep.
muddy. Yeah.
Yeah, white people's ability to interpret our gifts are
Terrible.
shaky at best.
Yeah,
Shaky
at best. That's right. Shaky at best.
Yeah.
Ooh, don't
Yeah,
get me started.
I'm the same way. I would much prefer most of the time. I mean, you may capture an artist who has maybe some black people in the band sometimes, and then you can tell something's going on there. There's a group called the Bell Rays. I don't know if the Bell Rays are even together anymore, but they've got a black woman who's singing lead, and she's it has a very southern 70s southern rock type thing to it. But
Mhm.
when you hear it, you know this is not just a room full of white dudes. There's something else going on here, and you immediately once you see it, it's like, oh, I get it now. Yeah, I see what's happening there. Yeah,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's got that kind of edge to it to a certain degree. But
Mhm.
when I think about some of the other stuff that D'Angelo has done, that's along those lines, like ain't that easy?
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Talk
like
about from yes.
yeah, from with D'Angelo and the Vanguard, and Black Messiah and everything. I like what he's done there. I don't like 1,000 Deaths. I don't care for that song. That recording, it's the recording I think more than anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They did that live. And they did She's Always in My Head live, D'Angelo
Yeah.
and the Vanguard. And it was really good. Well, he's a musician, and I got
Wasn't
to
it
see him.
Radio City Music Hall or something?
I think so. It was in 2013 they did it.
Okay.
I think
And
that's the one that had Jesse Johnson, right?
yes, yeah. And they did, and it sounds so. And again, D'Angelo is just such a musician. So again, seeing it live, and because I really wanted him to do it when I saw him on the when it was him, Mary, and Melody Fiona, and when that was back in 2012, 2011, 2012, one of those. And I wanted him to do that because he was going into this rock type of thing. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, is he going to do She's Always in My Head? And he didn't. And I was like, oh, can you give me that? But he didn't. But I like when, he did it live with the Vanguard. I think it's so dope. And I think it was more of that vibe with that whole album anyway. You know what I mean? So it was
Mhm.
more of that rock infusion type of thing anyway. So, but I love it.
So do you have a favorite, at least of the ones that are more rock infused from D'Angelo? Is that just not your cup of tea
No,
from him?
no. I like him with that.
Uh-huh.
It's just that
No,
it's
I
a
get what you're
little.
saying about the always
I'm
in my
glad.
head, but I'm just curious.
And again, I don't. I love the song. I just love the Prince more.
Yeah, I
No,
get it. I
I love
understand. I
when
understand. Yeah.
D'Angelo. Let me think. Mm, I don't know. They all feel a little rockish to me in their way. I mean, one of the big things I love about D'Angelo is hearing the bass or the guitar. I love the
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
guitar.
yeah.
So, and
Oh yeah.
when it's special attention to guitars, that's rock to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
agree. I agree.
I feel you.
I
Yeah, I love D'Angelo.
Right. I was just about to say, like, D'Angelo really could do no wrong with you, like at all.
He
Yeah,
can,
he's
but he can. I ain't no stan.
okay. So you know what? I'm glad you said that. I am I do like Black Messiah. Uh
Mhm.
I have never been a fan of it as a recording. I know they went straight analog on that, and with all of D'Angelo is a mid-heavy sound. So aside from the lows that are there and really crispy when they're done right, there's a lot you've got those thick roads. You've got a lot of the guitar licks are in the mid area. You've got D'Angelo in these layers and layers and layers of vocals, and
Mhm.
a lot of it is all in the mid range. And when you're recording something like that and it's all analog and they don't transfer anything to anything digital, because there's a crispness that can come through some digitally a lot of times that a lot of it feels too muddy for me. I don't feel like I'm getting everything out of it that I would like to get sonically. And I don't hate the album. I still listen to it with some regularity because again, I'm a huge D'Angelo fan too. But it has never quite set right with me, like especially when you consider D'Angelo is already somebody who you have to go listen to a few times just simply to understand what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
don't really need that sonically to be too muddy when you've already got that going on. So yeah, that's always
Yeah.
didn't sit quite right with me.
I see what you mean. Because it coming from voodoo to where it feels like a master class in mastering. I don't know. Like
Yes,
it
yes.
Yeah.
just sounds like everything sounds, even the song I don't like but everything sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. Voodoo is sonically perfect. You
Yeah.
can't. I mean, everything's distinct. You don't miss any of the sounds in voodoo.
And that's why I said it's the artistic excellence for real, because it's like everything is perfect sound wise on this thing. It's like for him to go to Brown Sugar to that, it was like shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And,
whoo.
and do you think maybe the intention was to make it sound dark and it ended up muddy instead?
Maybe.
Could be. It could
Yeah.
be. I mean, that wouldn't be far. I don't think that was far fetched at all. I think he was definitely going for something.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, for as far as he's concerned, maybe he hit the mark. It just felt like it just felt like it didn't quite hit the mark. It was a departure in that way that wasn't really as cool with me as
Mm-hmm.
the as it was musically. Musically, I'm pretty fine with it. I
Yeah.
like everything for the most part.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mm.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't thought about that because I mean, when you say it out loud, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You're making some very good points, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes. Well, thank you for coming over to our show, hang out with us.
Hey,
Yes,
I
and he got to
enjoyed it.
bring his peoples back too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two cats and all that.
All
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah, we'll have to bring the crew through. It'll be a great
Go.
time.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a scream at the screen.
Yes, I like what you did there. You was waiting on that moment. Got it.
No, it just popped in my head.
Oh, okay.
You know what that came from, J-Lo, you know that. And
Yes.
y'all just let me come over here and say anything.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, shoot, I say anything too.
Like
So
this is y'all's fault. You guys shift blame. You know how this works. All right.
of course, of course, of course.
Mhm. But yeah, you got anything going on that you want folks to know about, or just anything you want to say? The floor is
um,
yours.
we're still in the midst of our 8th season of the Scenario, formerly known as the Scenario Radio Show. Just in case someone looks for it, they may find it under that as well. Because we were a radio show for several years as well as a podcast, but now we're just solely a podcast. We're still in the 8th season. We've got a couple of great shows this month of May. If you check us out in May, we're doing a show discussing joy, the concept of joy, talking to a variety of different people about that, everything from artists to ministers to psychologists, and just really exploring the question, but are you happy though? So that's the
Is you
central
happy?
idea. Yeah, yeah, and we'll look at that. That'll be a great one. And we also have another show called Daddy Lessons, where we talk to single fathers who are have sole custody of their kids, and to look at that experience a little bit too. So that ought to be a pretty interesting show. And then we'll wrap the season up in June, which is Black Music Month. And every Black Music Month, we just cover different years of music and culture in Black culture. So yeah, it's all coming to a close, but we're gonna have some fun on the way out.
Love it. Yes. And we also thank all our viewers for kicking it with us. We feel like family here, so bring us some more cousins, and we have a bomb ass little cookout,
Maybe
little
we
fish
need to
fry.
have
All
too.
right,
Oh,
We
I'm
need to.
speaking into existence.
Please do a cookout with all every man.
I'm
That place,
always up for
whatever
a fish
place we
fry.
pick, ain't ready for this.
It ain't. It ain't. It really ain't. Bless
Mhm,
your hearts. But
mhm.
yeah, we thank all y'all. Bring us some more cousins. Share, like, subscribe, tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell somebody you don't know about us, because they just might like it. In fact, I know they will. But anyway, we will catch y'all on the next Catch That. Peace. Hey y'all, and welcome back to another fan mini episode of Catch That, where we get to know our friends through their favorite R&B songs. I am naturally Elise, and that is my brother.
JR.
And we are the R&B representatives. And today we are welcoming my good girlfriend, Miss
Yes.
Meg, Miss Megan. Hey girl.
Hey, girl. Hey, y'all.
Hey. So, Megan, how about you tell folks about yourself as little or as much as you would like to share with the folks?
Sure, absolutely. So I'll keep it more in the perspective of music. I was born and raised up in Rochester, New York. Yes. My mother is Caucasian, and she is also hearing impaired. So she actually became hearing impaired like the year or two before I was born. So before that, she was hearing. She had a very extensive music collection, records, a huge record collection, Motown, Elton John, a whole reggae, like the whole, all of it. So I had a very unique experience with music because she also was not into television at all. We had like a little portable TV and she would like take it with her. So really my only entertainment that I had was like reading or listening to all those records on a record player. So that's what I did for the majority of my childhood. And so I really have I don't know, I refer to myself as a music connoisseur, but I have I really love music. Like it's my favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to have. Like I just have to have it at all times, pretty much for the most part. And yeah, so yeah, that's how I started. And then, like I said, because didn't watch a lot of TV, I've always just been inclined more towards music as I grew and got older and everything. So yeah, my taste has changed, but I have a very eclectic, I can go from Dave Matthews to Maroon 5 to Mary J. Blige to, like I said, Elton John, James Taylor, Stevie Wonder. We could go all the way back to the Four Tops. I mean, we could do Smokey Robinson, we could do all of it. Like these were all the things that I was listening to. And because my mom was hard of hearing and I was an only child, so I entertained her a lot through like lip syncing and dancing to the music. And so, it was a fun time. It was really, yeah, it's amazing. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that. But
Yeah.
I'm like, yes.
Fun fact. Yeah.
So, how about you tell all our cousins what song that you came to talk about and if you remember hearing it for the first time?
Yes. So I know I actually changed the song, and this is actually a pretty recent song that it's recent to me, but it's actually, I think it was released back in 2015 by Sir. And the song is called Love You. And Sir, oh my God, I'm just so excited about Sir, honey. Sir's going to be here on August 7th, honey, and she's about to go to VIP experience. So I am excited about it. But I think the first time I heard that song was probably honestly like only a couple months ago, maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And it's one of those songs that just stopped me and just touched me. And it actually, of course, related to, my personal situation at the time as well. But not just that personal situation, just really, to me, it felt like myself in every situation because the song is just basically saying I just want to love you, like that's what I'm here to do. And I just felt like that really just embodies me as a person and what my intention is for the world. And I don't know why I'm like my cycle just started today. I know that's TMI, but you know how you be like but for real though, you know what I'm saying? Like I just get very emotional about music, especially. I just feel like it just transcends space and time, and Sir is amazing at doing that. And this song has just really touched me. So I was like, you know what? Let me change that. I know it was last minute. I was like, let me change that though. So.
No, because when Chad was like, ooh, I love that song.
I sure did. When she was like, "Oh yeah, Megan changed the song," and when she sent me what it was, I was like, "Oh, we good money." I'm
Yes.
like, "Okay."
Yes, God.
Good money. Oh God.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So was that your first discovery of Sir, or had you just for
no.
that song?
Yeah, I think it was just that song. And I maybe had heard it perhaps and just didn't remember. But I think, like I said, depending on, where a person is necessarily their time in life or that moment, a song can hit you in a different way, can mean a different thing to you, can have that connection where it's like, oh my God. So I know I've been listening to Sir for maybe still very relatively short period of time, probably maybe like 2 years or so, a year and a half, maybe. I think I just came across, I think Spotify recommended him to me, and I of course he's been on a lot of other people's music, but listening to his music was like, oh my God, this guy is freaking amazing. He is incredibly talented. I love his production. I love his beats. I love his energy. Everything. He's just, yeah, he's the real deal. He's the real deal.
And I
Yes.
love, yeah, and I love the production of the song. It's just that distortion, but it's still a soulfulness behind it. It's like
I love how slow it is. And because I'm typically a very like, I'm an upbeat, like I'm a Sagittarius. So I'm and ready to go. And so, I enjoy the fact that that song can slow me down for a moment in time and really like, dun, 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 dun. And
Yeah.
I'm like, look, okay, you telling me what to do. All righty then. Not a lot of people can do that, sir. Like pun intended. Pun intended, sir.
All right.
Okay. Sit me down. Tell me to have a seat and relax. Okay. Honey, because that's what Sir's music will do, honey. Tell you to have to relax.
And you're like, don't mind if I do.
Yes,
Right.
girl.
That part. That part.
Yes.
When you said that, music kind of hits you differently. I'm like that too, and I everybody that watches know that I'm an emotional listener, so I wanted to touch my emotion. And when I first heard this record, it was something that it felt like it just took you away from everything that you were dealing with, and it just takes you in your own pace, and it's just like you're
It's
by
very
yourself and the music is just guiding you. And that's what it felt like to me when I heard it for the first time. You know what I mean? And then I started to analyze the record because the beginning of it kind of reminded me of how TLC started Automatic from Fan Mail. You know how he was like 7 7 7 7, like it and they kind of started that with Automatic, kind of that out of space type of vibe that they wanted for Fan Mail. So it gave me that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then them drums came in. Boom, boom, boom. And then the beat is still slow. Like it's like, what is it doing? And that's what got me with Sir anyway, because I got onto him from SoundCloud back in 2015. And he had a song called on this album on this, what is it, seven Sundays. And Right By You, I heard on SoundCloud. And I was like, yo, who is this dude? Like, who is this? So then I went back and was like, well, the production got me because it was kind of different. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, sir. And then I'm going on Twitter at the Twitter X, whatever y'all want to call it these days. You know what I mean? So I went on there and I saw people started actually talking about him. So I was like, all right, let me go listen to this joint. And I was like, yo, his production is so different. And that's what grabbed me. And to start off the album with Love You As It Is.
It was the first song. Like, that's how you gonna do it? And I just love that because I feel that in all his music, because when you analyze the actual lyrics to that song, see, because we ain't even went there yet. Like it's so many layers
we still on production right here. We ain't even with it lyrically. Like it's layers to this.
Yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. It's like it's very multifaceted. Like
yes,
it's like his production. Like it's very multifaceted. Like there's
so
conjures happening at one time. Like even and Jay-Z too. That one. Yo, okay, so yeah,
You ain't ready. They not, oh dang, that is a song of his. You ain't ready. Oops. I'm
yeah. And his discography is extensive. I mean, this
That
guy has been
it is.
putting them
Yes,
out,
he
putting them
has.
out.
Yes, he
But
has.
but yeah, to your point, what you said about just feeling like it was taking you away, that's what I feel like. I feel like that Love You feels like I'm on a boat. It's
Mm-hmm.
like those are
Mm-hmm.
waves, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he's like he is taking you in this dreamy kind of like
Yeah.
just relax.
And what I like about it is dark, but not menacing.
Mhm, mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes, that
Yes. Cause
yes.
because I do love me some dark music. Like I'm
It's
here with
Yes,
the
dark, but I'm
bluesy
not
shit.
scared.
yes.
I'm
Well, he
comforted, but
gives
Right.
not
us
scared.
that. Yeah, he gives us
That
that.
part. Cause
Yeah.
it's like you can tell there's a darkness to it, but it ain't too dark. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, now I feel blue. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
no, it's just it's a little sad, not a sadness, but it's a darkness to it, but it's still you ride it though.
A
Yeah.
melancholy?
I would say
There, that.
solemn,
Thank you.
melancholy or solemn too, like
Ooh,
serious. Like,
solemn.
okay, like
Mm-hmm.
you know
That,
what? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is serious.
Y'all better
Then
tell these people about these vocabs. Y'all better go off. Go off.
oh, yes.
well,
Oh my God, this is so fun. I love analyzing music, and I be trying to do it with my friends. They be like, "Okay, girl, yeah, you like the song." Like, no,
Don't I tell that to Lise all the time when I try to do that with my friends. They be like, okay, you like it. And you know what I mean? Like you like it. Okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, but I'll be like, y'all gotta analyze this joint. Get into it. Let the music become you. And they like, well, we ain't doing that. You do it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
I mean, I think it's something you either have or you don't, you know,
yep.
this deep appreciation and
Mm-hmm.
reverence. I think there's a certain reverence that you naturally have for music when you enjoy dissecting it in this way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that not everybody has that. You know what I mean? Some people just don't. They just don't care. It's like, okay, well,
yeah.
it sounds good. It makes me feel good, and that's it. I'm not really about to, you know what I'm saying, do all that extra stuff. But
Yeah.
I just love, that's just my personality. I love to, there's so many, but yeah, the way he arranges the composition on not just that song, but most of his songs,
Mm-hmm.
it's like you have that, but then you actually start to think about what he's saying, and back to the lyrics of Love You.
Whew.
And starting that album with that, it's almost like a declaration of who he is in service to the world as a musician. Like, all I'm trying to do is just let you experience some love through my stuff. Like, and there's so many different meanings also. Like, that's one. Then it's like, okay, are you talking about a female? Okay, you're talking about it, like who are you loving? Like, you're loving everybody, really, frankly. I mean, you should be, right? Like,
Mm-hmm. He
so it's just
started to, he lets you know by bringing you in. He starts it off like, I know why I know why you
why
came.
you came.
I know why you came. So I'm bringing you in. Like, okay, I know why you came. And I heard I had that fire. You know what I'm
That,
saying?
that,
Like, he's
that
letting
fire.
you know, like, come
That
on
fire.
in. Come on
And you know
in.
my favorite line, one of my favorite lines, um, he said, "Welcome to the flame. I love all my first timers.
Get comfortable. I'm here for you. What?
Get comfortable." Like, and that's why you be like, that's why, look, I said I be a Sagittarius, and I was like, oh, I get comfortable. What you want? Okay.
And he said, I love all my first timers. Like, he like, yo,
First of
if you
all,
have never felt this before, welcome. Welcome. I want to give you this experience if this is your first time. I'm like, you taking it back to the first time? Damn. Like, you know what I'm saying?
exactly. And see, and the way my ego set up, like, that's all me. That's completely my personality. Like, I'll be like,
Yeah.
"You're welcome." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, when I heard that, I was like, yes, God, somebody made a song about me.
Right.
And there were days when I feel it, I think that Jill Scott has said, where she's like, if you can tell me what to do, you can
Tell me what to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the
and
way,
and,
and
and
he does
that's
it through
somebody telling you what to do, and you're
And I'm like, okay.
I'm listening. Yeah, like I'm listening. I hear you. Like,
You're here to love me, and I feel the love. I do.
right. And
I
then
feel love.
like it's speaking on it lyrically, like when he says in the second verse, you can take the lead or I could be the captain. If it's up to me, we'll be headed for some action. Woo!
Time for some action. Oh.
Really?
You went to the.
I just want to be where you
went to the
want to be.
moon.
So tell me where to take you. I hope you feel complete when you're next to me. That's some lyrics for your ass, yo. Like, it's like you can let him do all the talking. Don't say nothing. I remember on the episode we did with the Luther episode, we did I forgot. Was it one with Keith or was it well, Keith did like 3 Luther episodes. Huh?
What song?
It was the album we were talking about and how we said that we was like, shoot, if you let Luther talk for you by the end of the song, you should not be able to say anything.
Oh yeah, Forever for Always for Love. That
okay, it was Keith.
Yeah.
Okay. With this record, sir is talking for you. By the end of this record, if nothing happens, you have the weakest game ever. like the weakest game ever. He's opening it up for you. He's welcoming you in. Then the second verse, he's talking for you, letting you know, like, and then the chorus, because I'm here to love you. I'm just here to love you. Like, what more need to be said? And then the beat is not, man, shit. I'm sorry.
It's truly wait, okay, and I'm sorry if I read this and I don't remember, but are we gonna listen to the song too, or are we just talking about it? Do we get to listen to it or?
Just talk?
Yeah.
You know how these social media streets
gotcha,
is.
gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just saying that because as we're talking about it, I'm like, I want to hear it.
Yes,
but, I have played that song. Like when I first found the song, I literally like played it all day long. Like I'm that type of person that if I find a record that I like,
yes,
I'm gonna listen and listen and listen.
I can confirm this.
Oh God.
I can confirm this.
Oh God. Oh, for her? You can confirm it for her?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought about me because I thought you can confirm it over here too.
You can.
Oh, you do the same thing, yeah.
Oh, she hates it. Oh, she hates it.
I know, poor Elise. She had to do something.
I hate it with JR because it was only one instance where I got annoyed. You brought it back up, so
Go ahead.
Because it was a song that he was listening to, and he knew even before he played it that I didn't want to hear that particular artist, period. And then he played it, and I was like, meh. I was like, And then he kept playing it over and over, even after I had an adverse reaction, the same song. So that's the difference.
I think I was being a little mean, but at least
You had a little mischievous. No, yes, you were. You were being how you described that you were at the time.
But I do play this. But I do. I will play a song over and over. And I did this.
I wouldn't have been mad about playing this over and over. Yeah. I'm not mad about most of it, but he did that on purpose, John.
Yeah. But this song, yes, when I first heard it too, it took me a minute to get past it so I can listen to the other songs. You know what I mean? Because I'm like,
it's almost hypnotizing. Almost, there's like a hypnotizing factor to it, and I think it's because of that. Like it's a very like synchro. What is the word? What's that instrument that goes the palindrome? I don't know, but it kind of lulls you into this like feeling, and you're like, okay, and then you're just listening to sweet nothings in your ear. I mean, it's really amazing.
That's exactly what it is. It feels like sweet nothings in your ears, and he's riding it, and it's just everything is just done just right. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing wrong in it. That's what I like about it. And if you open an album like this, it's gonna make me want to listen. Like he just showed you, yo, I'm not playing with you. Like, welcome to 7 Sundays. That's what he's saying. Like, welcome to 7 Sundays. I know why you here. Like he letting you know, like, I know why you here. You here musically, you here whatever. I know why you here, and I'm gonna get you there. And this song definitely gets
Yes.
you there for real, for real. Definitely a part of the playlist for
Yes.
sure.
And also,
the GTD playlist.
Absolutely.
which playlist?
GTD.
Get the drums.
Yes.
Panty dropper playlist.
No, yes.
Yeah, this is the one. And also looking at the lyrics, it's just short and sweet too, you know. It's nice 3 minutes. It's like, because it's like it brings you in, it puts you in a trance, and then it ends. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not like it's not gonna keep you rocking back and forth. It's just like, okay, I love you, Captain, we're gonna do it. And that's the end of the song. And that's why I was like, oh my God, I need to listen again.
Yes.
So I need to stay in that. I need to stay in that lull because she be doing the most, and sometimes she likes to have a little, you know, something grounding and keeping her somewhere other than all over the damn place.
Keeping you zen. Like,
to feed some grass. Yeah.
yeah. Oh God.
Yes, God. And that's how we like it. Well, thank you for coming on and hanging out with us.
Thank you for having me. This was
awesome. I knew it was gonna be right. Especially once Elise sent the song, I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a dope episode. I know it. Because everybody likes it.
But yeah, we would love you came back and did another song. Or if you want to talk about a whole album.
Okay. Yeah. I would love to do that. I would love to.
So just think about an album. I would love to discuss an album with Miss Megan.
Okay.
That would be awesome.
Let me ponder that.
Yeah. The sky's the limit. Yeah, so many. Yeah. I mean, so many. And this ain't nothing. So, if you have any parting words, or if you want people to find you, how can they find you? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so I'm on social media as Yes God Wellness, and my brand is just about empowering women to resurrect their divinity and remember that, you know, they are creators. And of course, we also do yoni steaming and natural womb wellness. So we've had a lot of clients able to manage fibroids and infertility, postpartum care with natural products and herbs. So yeah, Yes God Wellness everywhere. Yeah, that's it, I guess.
Yes. And I thank you, Megan, for hanging out with us. And we also thank all our viewers. We think of y'all as family. So bring us some more cousins. Like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell somebody you know, somebody you don't know. All about us. Yeah. So we're just gonna catch y'all on the next Catch That. Peace.